Okay, so for this walkthrough challenge, I'm going to walk through a little bit of stuff, but we are going to use our alien with the curves that we did in that walkthrough. We're going to duplicate this code and use this as our starting point. Okay, so now that we have this, we want to rename this. So this would be alien with, let's do dynamic colors. Okay, so after we have that name, this is basically what we want to do. We want to make it so that we have this alien, but we want to make it a little bit more dynamic. We've learned about buttons. We've learned about color picker. I'm going to show you guys the map function, and what we are going to do is make it so that we can have, say, the eyes be dynamic based off of us moving around on the screen with our mouse to map different values. And then we'll have a color picker where the user could pick the base color for the alien. And then we will finish that off with creating a button that when we click the button will save this image as a file so that you guys could, email it and send it out, and it would just be pretty cool. We will, because this is artwork and stuff that we created, we're going to want to put some little signature block on there like made by, and I'm going to do made by Redbeard, and you guys can put your little signature block on that. Okay, so we have this as our starting point. We don't need to recreate our shapes or anything. We already have that, but what we have to do is we have to go through and refactor our code. So there are things that we are going to change and things that we are going to leave the same. Right now, like we have this easy C color that really should be removed. But just to show you, so our alien face stuff, we have our alien face color, which are these blacks, or these grays right here. It's kind of a grayscale image. But if we were changing that to see that easy C color that we did before, easy C, and ran, now we have changed the colors of the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Now sometimes we want to change only certain things and we don't want everything else. And that is where there's a cool piece of code called push and pop. So let me undo this. Let's say that I want all of my alien's features, the nose and the mouth, to be that gray color, but I just want to change the color of the eyes and I don't want it to affect anything else in my code. Okay, using push and pop is a very useful way. This could be my default color for everything, and then I could say, you know what, I want to define just the eyes, so I'm going to put a push at the start of, okay, so then we go to the bottom of the eye, and we put pop. Okay, now what this does is this basically makes it so that I can make changes to this stuff and it's not going to affect anything else. Push and pop is a really useful way if I want to change modes of how I'm displaying images or how I'm drawing shapes, that I can make it where it only applies to that part of the code that I'm working on and it won't affect anything else. Okay, so before we were learning like, hey, we are switching paint brushes when we use fill and then we keep that paintbrush. Well, now push and pop means that basically I could take a different paintbrush, paint this stuff, and then when I get done and I get past the pop, it's like I'm going back to that original paintbrush, so I don't even have to change the colors. So here, let's say we wanted to fill with that easy C color that we did before. So now it's just the eyes, okay? Really what I'm just trying to point that out is that we can do this to be able to use a cool new feature called map. Okay, so let's look in our references and we're going to type in the map. Now the map is a way that we can scale values or a range from one set of values to a new set of values. So we can either scale it up or scale it down. Okay, so like here, what we see kind of as this example, I can make it so that the mouse is moving the shapes at a different rate because they're being more responsive to where the mouse position is. So maybe I want, a shape to move the entire length or entire width of the canvas, but I only want to move the mouse like halfway. I can scale it up. Okay. It's a way that you can kind of keep values within a specific range. Okay. Now, let's look at what it is. Okay. Map, when we do this, we have a value that we have to look at. So this is whatever the initial value is. It could be a value that we created. It could be a built-in value. We're going to use it with mouse X. Okay. And then what we do is we say, this is the start and stop, the original start and stop. Okay. So that's the lower and upper bounds of the previous range or the original range. And then we can map it to a newer range that will have a different start and stop. Okay. So this makes it really easy because we could basically map values from, say, the mouse X position to, which we'll say is like the left and the very right of the canvas, to a color channel. So we could do like the red and the green, or the red channel. So we go from like 0 all the way to 255. Now, because a color is composed of 3 different color channels, you'll want to do 2 other values that you can map. So you could map the opposite of the X direction. You could map the Y on the mouse and do the same thing. All right, so let's kind of play around with this real quick. So instead of us doing that easy C, we want to map this. Okay. So in here, let's create a local variable. So we're going to just put, let's just call it eye color. Okay. And eye color is going to be composed of 3 values. Okay. So we could have a red channel, a green channel, blue channel. Okay. So this is what we're going to want to take to ultimately put it here. Okay. So eye color. All right. But to build this eye color, we got to kind of go back a step, and we need, let's do red channel. We want green channel and blue channel. Okay. And we want to make sure that we're doing camel case. All right. So each one of these we are going to map. I'm only going to do one for you guys, and then we're going to put it in here. So, just to show you guys, you guys will end up having to do these. But right now, I am just going to give them a value of 0. So I'm going to say that green channel is 0, blue channel is 0. And when we use the map to make the colors look awesome, you want to make sure that you are not mapping the same values, because if they are all the same, then you end up getting a gray scale image color, and you don't want that. All right, so we use the map. What do we want to track? Well, our initial data that we're going to track is the mouse X. Mouse X is going to scale from 0, which is the left side of my canvas, to the right side of my canvas, which is that width. So I'm going to use that. I'm not going to write a specific value, because if I increase the size of my canvas, I can still have it dynamically change. Okay, so I'm going to say 0 to width, and then I want my new range. Well, my new range is going to be in the color channel. Color channels can only go from 0 to 255. Okay, so 0 to 255. Okay, so now that is mapped as my R channel. So I basically have values. Right now I have just nothing for these colors, but I have this map value here. So I can create my eye color now, and I can say my eye color is that color object with the R channel, the green channel, and the blue channel. Okay. Now if I run this, it's black. I start moving over and look, and now my eyes are getting fully bright by the time I get to the end, and there is no red channel when we're fully to the left. So you guys are going to do this. This is one of the challenge pieces that you need to do, is to change these to map them. Now they cannot map the exact same values of mouse X. We could switch. We could still go from 0 to width, but you could go from full color to dark color. So instead of us starting at 0 and going to 255, we could go from, say, 255 to 0, which means that on the left, it starts fully bright, and as I move to the right, it goes fully dark, because I'm going from 0 to width, and then it's starting at 255 and going to 0. I could also switch this by, instead of going like this, I could say 255. I could map it from the right side to the left side. So let's play around with that. Right side to the left side. That means I'm mapping this to this, and I'm going from 0 to 255. So now when I'm all the way on the right, that's 0 on my color channel for red, and as I get all the way to the left, that is 255 in the color channel for my red. Okay? So that is multiple ways that we can map different values to get a change. Okay? Now you do not want to have them all mapped the exact same, because you want it to have all those variations. The next challenge piece that we already kind of talked about is the base color for the alien. You're going to want to change that. So you're going to use the color picker to do that. So you will have to go through and refactor your code based off of where that is. Okay, so where you have that base color, you're going to want to do the color picker, but you want it to be dynamic. So we don't technically need the alien base color to be defined in the setup. We need it to be defined in the draw. So this could become a local variable scoped for the draw only. Okay, and then the last pieces of walkthrough that I'm going to show you guys is the button to save a JPEG image, and then for putting the text in the top right. Okay, so let's do a save image, but we're going to do save image, button. Okay, and we want to create it. So we're going to come here, we're going to say save image button equals create button. We already learned that part. We're just going to call it save image. All right. Now I'm just going to leave it down at the bottom, but we do want to link it up with some function. So we're going to do a mouse pressed, and that's going to save image. That is my function that I need to create. So normally created functions always go at the very bottom. Okay, so let's do another one. Function save image. And I should note, whenever you are doing code, if you want to make sure you're not actually writing inside of another function, all you got to do is just minimize them, and then you're not going to end up accidentally writing in them. So if I don't want to accidentally write in the draw face or the draw head or the helper or the draw, if I minimize them, it's easy for me to see where it opens and closes. Okay, so in the save image, we want to save the image. So let's look at, type in the reference and see what it says about saving. Okay, now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for some method, and then I'm looking for it to say image. Okay, I don't want it to say anything else. Okay, so let's see. save, and they see this is saying an image. So let's check there. Okay. If key is equal to S, then save this image. Saves the image to a file and forces the browser to download it, accepts 2 strings. Note that the file will only be downloaded as animated GIF if the P5 image was loaded from a GIF. I don't know if that's what we want. Because this, we're loading an image. We want to save that canvas. That's what I think we want to do. So let's look again. Because I'm trying to click S, it's trying to automatically save it from this program. So I need to get back out of it. Let's look at save again. We want to try to find save canvas. So sound file. The only other one that I see, I see save canvas. Let's look at that one. Okay. Save canvas. No, it has the same result as above. No canvas specified. Defaults to main canvas. Okay. So we can save with the name and the file type. And here it's giving a whole bunch of examples how we could do it. Saves the current canvas as an image. The browser will either save the file immediately or prompt the user with a dialog window. So if we do save canvas and we don't put anything, then we can get it to populate up. So let's start putting that in our save image. So we're going to do save canvas. Now if we click and run, hey, there we go. Okay, so it brings it up. Alien. Let's open that up. There it is. Okay, now there's a little bit of a problem with this. When I am drawing my alien and I'm changing the eye color, but I come back here to save, I'm changing those colors back. So, your other challenge is that we need to dynamically change the position of the save image to stay with the mouse. So when we're ready to click, we're going to click Save Image. Okay? So I want the save image to stay with the mouse as we move. So if I'm over here, that button's already there positioned underneath my mouse so I could easily click it. Okay, so we're going to have a dynamic button moving, which means you're going to have the position changing inside of the draw. Okay? All right. The last piece is we need some text. We're going to do text in the top right. Okay? So that is something that we need to have in our draw, and it needs to be the very last thing to draw. Let's create a function for this. We'll call it signature. Function draw signature. Okay, so in here we want text, and we want to play around with the alignment of everything, like what we've done before. So let's use push and pop. To keep anything that we're doing. And so then we're going to go back to the text align, if you guys don't remember that, and see what we have. Okay, we have where we can text align right, center, and left. Okay, and that's how we're going to position. And then we can also position top, center, bottom, or we could do baseline for doing it. So we want to make sure that when we're positioning so that it's not bleeding off of the screen and it's locked in the bottom right hand, or excuse me, top right hand corner. Okay, so that means I'm going to do text align, and I want it to be positioned using that top right corner. So then I'm going to say we want it to go right, okay? And then I want the very top right here. So text align center top. See this? See how it's lined up with the top? That's what we want. That's the very top of our stuff. So top. And then I can position. So designed by Redbeard. Okay, that is my text. Make sure that if you're using text, you have to use single quotes, double quotes, preferably single quotes, and then we can give it a position. We want to give it a position of, let's try width, comma, 0. Okay, that's the top right corner. I don't see it. Let's minus just 50 just to make sure that we can see where we're at. I still don't see it. Chances are it's probably because we have color going on. So we want to change our, let's see, I forget the color. Let's look up text again. And we can also play around with the width. Text. All right. Different fill for changing the color of it. Okay, and we can also put a box to keep it so it's not going to overflow if we give it more pieces of information. All right, so let's do fill, and we want to fill just black. Let's run. Still don't see. This is okay. Let's comment out just to make sure I'm not doing some silly mistake. Width divided by 2. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. You guys figure it out? Haha. Let's undo. I'm not actually drawing it. So draw sign. Silly mistake. Okay, now if we do it at width, that is right at the edge, right there. Designed by Redbeard. It's not going to overflow. If I write more, rerun, it will stay locked at the edge. Okay. Now I could add or subtract from these to just shift it over a little bit. I could shift by, say, 10. I could maybe make it go down by 10 and just make it so it's not right on the edge, which makes it does look better. Okay. All right. So that is everything for this walkthrough challenge. Okay. To refresh you on what you guys need to do, you guys are using the color picker to change the baseline color. You are mapping the other two color channels, the green channel and the blue channel, to different values, so I can move all around the screen and I get a different color change for the eyes. You are going to have the button staying with the mouse position, which means you need to dynamically change the position of the Save Image button to stay underneath the mouse, so that when I click on the mouse, I am pressing that button to take a picture and save it to my computer for the alien. Okay? All right. Good luck. Have fun.